Hey ladies, this is Denise with Mentality of Dating, and today's video topic is this. Every woman that texts me says, Denise, how do you know if a guy is relationship minded or if he just wants sex, especially in those first few weeks? Sometimes in the first few days of dating, right? So I figure, why wonder? Let's ask a man. This is my sexy husband, Scott, who you rarely see.
What's up?
Scott, why is it that, how do you know the difference between a man that just wants sex and a man that's really interested in you in the first few weeks?
Well, let's be clear. So it's in a man's DNA to want sex. We spend 9 months trying to get out of there, and the rest of our lives trying to get back in. So just so you know, that's the prerequisite. So that's a given. You know, the way that you operate in between that as a woman, you know, is a little different.
Wait. So you're telling me that all men want sex no matter who they are in the first few weeks or few months?
Every day, every moment, it's on our mind. I think there's a statistic out there that says that it's about 900 times in about 3 minutes that we think about it.
Yeah, but I thought that was that's not like something you gotta say or pursue, right?
But it's an expectation that somebody has, right? You know, it's just there. It's like air. We need it to live.
Okay. So all men do want sex if they're attracted to you in the first few weeks.
That's another one of them things. Whenever a man is evaluating a woman, that's got to be probably the first thing they're thinking about. Do I want to have sex with her? Can I have sex with her? Do I want to? Will it be good? And so you start with that one. Then they start talking, and then the personality comes in. But that's probably the first check-off box.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you right, all men, ladies, do want sex if they're interested in you in the first few weeks. They just do. So you should just take that for granted.
Take it for granted.
All right. So the question is, how do we say no if we also think they're hot in the first few weeks, right?
Yeah. Well,
or do you say no? I don't know. What do you think?
Absolutely. So if you're looking for a relationship-minded man, they have values. You know, even though it's in our DNA to have and want sex, there's also other things that we're looking for as well. So we've already made the conclusion that we want to have sex with you. Now we want to understand the other soft skills and the other soft stuff that you have, and attributes and commonalities and all that kind of stuff. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, with that said, you know, there's a lot of things that women do that give false indications to a guy that makes him feel probably a little bit more in tune with that process and how it's going to come along.
Well, that don't make sense. So you're telling me there's certain things you can do that makes the man think that you also want sex?
Absolutely.
Oh, and then, what can you do to let the man know that you do maybe sometime want sex, but not now?
Well, it's pretty simple. Don't be bringing him back to your house on the first date. Don't bring him back to your house and let him drink, or don't be staying out till 2 in the morning drinking. You know, don't put yourself in positions or situations to where an expectation of the man is created. So if you put me in a position where I'm thinking I'm going to have sex and then you don't give it to me, well, guess what? There's a little bit of animosity, you know, a little bit of letdown, a little bit of disappointment that comes from that. But if you establish that boundary from the get-go, it's just something that's not going to happen.
So let's say you're at a winery, for example.
Having
really
wine.
Good one. By the way, this is some kick-ass good wine and winery. And what an awesome place for a first date. But don't let him drive you home to your place, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. So, but boundaries. You just got to have boundaries. Here's the one thing that a man will always appreciate about a woman is respect for herself, and then respect for him.
Okay.
You have respect for yourself, and you don't give that stuff up. You don't give up the cookie, you know, in the first week, first 2 weeks, first 5 dates, whatever that looks like. You know, that's.
Is there some magic time period?
Well, you know, if you're faith-based, yeah, when you're married. That's a long time.
Well, you were faith-based and I was faith-based, but...
Yeah, but that was the law of attraction.
Yeah. Let's just say it was...
But that was
well beyond 3 weeks and less than 3 months. So let's just say
it was right at 3 months, and it was multiple times. We probably were seeing each other for about 20 times in that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a once here and once there. There was a lot of interaction between us.
But let me tell you one of the secrets that I really think can delay sex, and still really show him that you want him. So I think activities, it's all about activities. You can't sit around a restaurant and drink and wine and go out to a bar and not expect that man is going to want to come home and have sex. There needs to be variety of activities. You need to go to a winery. You need to go
dancing. You need to go skiing. You need to be
skiing. You need to go jogging. You need to go walking around. I don't know. In Austin, we go Town Lake. You need to do stuff with a man, because a man, especially for me, alpha men. I like alpha men. And ladies, if you like an alpha man, even a quiet alpha man, like an introverted type, you gotta do shit, do stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
work out together.
Quick example.
Yeah.
When Denise and I met, we danced till 2 in the morning. We danced at 2 different clubs, and we parted ways. And that was, but it was we were sweating, we were boogieing, we were enjoying. That was a phenomenal time. And we replicated that 500 times after that in the first 3 months.
Yeah.
You find a commonality that you really like, and then you just go do it. When you become friends first, and you have respect for yourself and each other, expectations are easily met.
So you need to know that a woman is hot for you, but that doesn't mean she needs to give it to you.
Yeah. So
you do need to know she's hot.
You can mac down, get down, mac down. Swap that spit, tongue lash, get that down. But don't be taking your clothes off. Don't put yourself in a position where you're back at the house and you've been drinking for a little bit and you're laying on the couch, and next thing you know, talking about the first thing that pops up. You know, it's just you don't put yourself in those positions.
Okay, let's say you do accidentally get in that situation where something pops up. Then what do you say? As a woman, how do you steer it the other way without being awkward?
Well,
let's reenact that kind of thing.
I would just simply say that when you get to that stage, that's a tough one to get out of. That's a really tough one to get out of.
There's got to be an answer.
There is. All you got to do is close your legs.
Oh, please.
Close your legs.
Whatever. Well, what do you say though, so the guy doesn't get all injured? Because
there's nothing you're going to tell me that's going to make me feel better about the situation. There's nothing you can say about that.
But
what you can do is, if you were to come at me and say, hey, listen, I love you, or I don't love you, I find you very attractive, you know, and I trust me, I'm fighting this. This is hard for me not to move forward from this, but you know, I have to respect my values. I have to respect myself, and I feel like when and if we're going to have this situation escalate to the next stage, I want some synergy. You got to have some kind of, you know, steps to get to where you want to be.
Okay, so clear communication that you're gonna get it if you meet certain standards. It's just a when, not if.
It's a win, not if.
Oh, so ladies, you need to create a win, not if situation with a man through clear communication, but you still gotta let him know that he's hot and that you want him, because
you can do drive-bys. There's nothing wrong with the drive-by.
Things will pop up occasionally while you're dating. So that's about all we're gonna say today. If you like this conversation and you want us to go a little deeper, because I believe that we could actually give you a couple examples how to steer that conversation off. If you want that conversation from Scott and I, what do they gotta do?
Click here.
You gotta type, give it to me. We wanna hear more. So give it to me, tell me more. So I'm Denise.
I'm Scott.
And we'll see you later, Mentality of Dating.
Peace out.